Sebastian, congratulations, such a strong result for you. How are you feeling at the end of all that?
Yeah, fantastic, obviously, very rewarding win today, great feeling. A horrible start, to be honest. Then, yeah, you know, I spoke to the team before the race. We had a strategy meeting. I spoke to, you know, my engineers in particular about the strategy, and I think we learned a lot in 2011, where we were keen on, you know, staying in front, pitted early, and ran into trouble later on in the race. So obviously, after the poor start, we found ourselves sitting in third. We tried to then go longer than the other people in the first stint already, taking into account that we lapped slower at the time, staying out longer in the second stint. So once I came out of the pits for the final stint, I had fresh tyres. I had unbelievable traction when I you know, managed to get past Romain. And after that, the only threat really was Mark, who got stuck a little bit behind Romain. And yeah, we could manage the gap until the end of the race.
And in that situation, how much of the call is coming from you, is coming from the pit? Well, we hear Rocky on team radio, who sounds quite sinister when he's telling you to go and get Grosjean and things. A lot of trust must come into it.
Yeah, I think they didn't really know. Obviously in the car you know how the tyres feel and so on, but they didn't really know, because they said, you know, try to catch up. Then I tried to lift the pace. All right, don't, you know, do it all in one go, gradually. And then, all right, now you put pressure on him. All right, you know, I felt a little bit, okay, just tell me what you want, what's the best, and so on. But obviously it's very much dictated, you know, on the feedback that we give to the team inside the car. We have the ability, obviously, to tell them, look, I'm struggling, or, you know, I can survive another couple of laps. Obviously in the first stint it was already clear, and the second stint very much so. I tried to, you know, make sure that I drop back enough, really tried to take care of the tyres, and yeah, the feedback that I then gave to them obviously made them believe that the two-stop is definitely in reach. I think we would have struggled more when we were had we been trying all the time to, you know, push. So we had good tyre wear and good degradation, so we were able to use that today.
Just finally, you managed the race, but how do you manage and control your thoughts of championships over the next week? Top 5 in India would be enough to clinch your 4th title.
Well, I'm not really thinking about that. Yeah, obviously it's the big target we set when we started the season, once we realized we have a strong package. Yeah, it's very strange, obviously, because the season is very long still. You have the chance to wrap it up, but I think the best chance to do so is not to think about it. So, to be honest, next week I'm fairly happy to get back. Obviously, we've been out now for Korea and Japan, so I'm looking forward to just be home, relax a little bit, and yeah, before we go out to India, a circuit that I like, a country that is very impressive every time we go there. So I'm looking forward to the race, and not really, yeah, not really thinking about where we have to finish, where other people have to finish, what we have to do to win the championship.
Well, Mark, how did you feel after all that? Was it a missed opportunity, or the best you could do under the circumstances you were given?
Yeah, best I could do under the circumstances. I think probably a little bit more of a high risk, obviously, to go for the 3, to put pressure on Romain for the win. Obviously, it then forced the hand a little bit with Lotus for them to do what they needed to do to try and beat me on that. And Seb, meanwhile, was obviously doing a slightly different strategy, which he committed to early in the race, obviously, with his slightly longer first stint. But even after my first stop, I was aware that it was going to be a 2-stop still. The guy said, look, we can get to where we need to go. 2-stop is fine. Yeah, and then yeah, in the middle of that stint we changed tactic. So that was it, which was a bit surprising. I asked the guys, "Are you sure this is going to be right for 3-stop?" And they said yes, it will be. Give it a go. So when they say that, obviously you've got to try and make it work and go for it. And in the end, we ran out of laps. So that was it.
Yeah, it looked like a late call. Were you expecting it a bit earlier if it was going to happen?
Well, I think that we we're only probably a few laps earlier on the first stint, and then to hit you know, target 30, 31 lap on the second stint was achievable. You know, I could squeeze straight back up onto the back of Romain. I think what was clear that they probably thought, we can't pass him on track. We have to do something different to beat Romain. and it was just really my mind having the pace at the end of the stint to really put pressure on him to just undercut him in a straight 2-stop race. That's what I was had in mind. So when we had to squeeze up on the back of him, you know, in a pretty, like you say, half sort of 2.5 stop sort of strategy was a bit that's what we decided to do. That's what the team decided to do, and yeah, you know, I've got to stick with that and go for it and do my best.